All right. It wasn't that long ago that South Carolina was dominating its Palmetto State rivalry with Clemson with 5 consecutive wins against the Tigers. Now, Clemson, of course, a mainstay in regards to national contention, looking for a second straight college football playoff appearance. South Carolina, dismal last year at 3-9, but bowl eligible at 6-5. And Will Muschamp's first year has some life, has actually probably exceeded expectations more so than any team in the SEC to date, with Jake Bentley, a promising young freshman quarterback, 6 touchdowns, 61% completion percentage against only 1 interception, and Rico Dowdle carrying the football for 6 yards a carry. So Clemson may have a bit of resistance at home against South Carolina.
Yeah, they may, but Clemson is just so much better across the board. A pretty huge line in this game, 20-plus points. Clemson's offense obviously has not been what we all expected it to be going into the season. I mean, they've been good, but not nearly as good as we thought they could have been. This is an offense that essentially returned all of their starters from a year ago, and they just really haven't gotten things going like they did in the 2015 season. I think Deshaun Watson has struggled more than a lot of people have expected. He's still been really good. He's put up great numbers, but he set the bar really high for himself, having a 5,000-yard-plus all-purpose yard season last year for Clemson when they went to a national championship game. I think Clemson's team is more than capable of doing that again here this year. They're going to be a team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with down the stretch. Of course, if they're able to take care of business against South Carolina and then, defeat whoever it is, either Virginia Tech or North Carolina in the ACC championship game, I think Clemson's going to be a pretty substantial favorite regardless of who they play in that conference championship. And then move on and see what happens in the playoff. But I see Clemson more like last year's Ohio State. I think it's a team that had all the talent, as much talent as any team in the country, and really has just kind of underwhelmed all year long despite only losing 1 game. That Pittsburgh game came as kind of a surprise because you looked at Pittsburgh's offense against Clemson's defense. I certainly didn't see them scoring all the points that they did on that Tigers defense a couple Saturdays ago. En route to that upset, but it didn't really affect Clemson any. They remained in the top 4, and they still are now. This game against South Carolina on Saturday, it is a rivalry game. I think Will Muschamp will, of course, have South Carolina ready. I just don't think right now, with all the playmakers that Clemson has on both sides of the football, that there will be a slip-up here this late in the year. I like Clemson to win the game. I think Wayne Gallman's going to have a huge day, and I think Deshaun Watson is going to set the record straight on this rivalry once and for all. He's played so well in it here the first couple seasons he's been a quarterback. Really, actually, he's only played South Carolina once now that I think about it, because he got injured late in 2014. But last year, of course, a big win against South Carolina, and then he's going to hope to do the same so that Clemson can continue coasting there into the conference championship and try to get into a college football playoff and see what happens. But they're as talented as any team in the country, and I think they'll show that once again on Saturday when they play South Carolina, which, we'll get the athletes there eventually, but right now it's just a different state of the program.
All right, it's Clemson and everyone else considering the ACC situation on the national scene, but in regards to a opponent in the ACC championship game for the Tigers, it's Virginia Tech holding its destiny against Virginia, and North Carolina looking to win and then hold its breath and hoping that the Cavaliers can pull off a huge upset. Elsewhere, it's BC at 5-6, looking to become bowl eligible for the first time in a few years against Wake Forest, now 6-5. So the Demon Deacons in good shape in regards to postseason play. And also, I believe we've got somebody else. Of course, North Carolina State trying to pull off the upset and hold North Carolina out of any contention for the division championship and get back to postseason play for the 3rd consecutive year under Dave Doran. Mike McDaniel from Inside the ACC breaking down the final week of conference play as we head toward the college football playoff. And of course, first is the ACC championship game. All right, Mike, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, Mark.